we start
Cool.
sharing.
Are we live right now or no?
Yeah, live right now.
We are, yeah.
Cool.
Oh,
The Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome. We are live with another Indie Creator Spotlight powered by the Dorkening Podcast Network. And we have an awesome show scheduled for you today. Have you seen Willy's Wonderland? Holy crap, this was amazing. But before we get into it, we have, as always, Patsy. How's it going, my friend?
Hello, Leo. It is good to be here on this Friday night. I know it's not our usual day, but I am happy to make an exception for this guest this evening.
Oh, totally agree. Totally agree. Philip.
Hey, how's it going, Leo and PJ or Patsy? Yeah, I was like the guinea pig. I read no promotional material. I didn't see the trailer. I didn't read an IMDb blurb. I went in completely blind, so I was the one that had no idea what this film was about, who was starring in or whatever. And I'm with Patsy. This is a good episode that we got here going today.
I was totally hooked the second I saw the trailer. Patsy, would you like to introduce our awesome guest?
Oh, absolutely. You may have seen people raving about this film on social media. You hopefully have seen it yourself. If not, what are you waiting for? We are here with Kevin Lewis, the director of Willy's Wonderland. Kevin, thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. Really. Thank you.
I like the shirt, by the way.
Dude, it's Floyd, right?
That's right, man. Absolutely.
I saw David Gilmour when he was in LA, I think like 5 years ago, solo.
Nice.
Amazing. And I saw them at Dodger Stadium as well, or the Rose Bowl.
Oh wow, that's
awesome. So, but I never saw Roger. I saw Roger Waters solo too 3 years ago when he was his album, but I never, of course, saw Floyd.
Right. Yeah.
Only dream.
True. Yeah, there's only three of them left too. So others have.
They're amazing.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah.
I only saw a cover band of them in the 80s in Toad's Place. You ever go to Toad's Place, any of you?
Mm-mm.
I am
It's
unfamiliar
yeah,
with
it's
that
like,
one.
it's right next to Yale. It's like the Stones played there. Tons of people played there. It's like
Stones.
yeah,
Wow.
little hole in the wall place in right next to Yale, but it's some amazing bands played there.
I saw the Stones at the Rose Bowl right before I went to shoot the movie, and man, it was just Keith Richards was incredible. Mick,
Great.
I mean,
Yeah.
oh my God, they did the Sympathy for the Devil version that was just like mind blowing, man. It was
That's
cool.
so
'Cause
cool.
I took my kids, and I took my niece and her boyfriend. They were like, it was funny. They were showing me some of their music. Of course, they did. God, I feel so old when I say it's their music, but they're doing like they don't know how to play real instruments. They're doing lip syncing and stuff, and they're doing. And I go, you guys, you got to start seeing some real shows, man.
Yeah.
So
I
went on
I was just gonna say, I think that club he was talking about was the one where Jim Morrison got arrested.
Really?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
because it was
wow.
New Haven. It's New Haven, yeah, and that's where he got arrested.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I went on like a tour. It was cool that summer, before COVID hit, of course. We did. I saw Maiden, Iron Maiden live.
Nice.
Oh my God. Rolling Stones, Paul McCartney, Joe Walsh, and Ringo Starr came out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm just like mind blown, right? Oh, The Who.
Yeah.
The Who. I saw
Yeah.
my sister flew out. We went and
Was
saw The Who.
Entwistle still with him, or was he passed by then?
Oh, I think passed.
Yeah.
Ringo's son was the drummer.
Yeah, I know he's playing the drum for them. Yeah.
And Daltrey's voice was so powerful.
Oh yeah.
And Townsend and that was up in LA at the Hollywood Bowl. That was the last concert I saw, and then that was October, and then we went to go shoot the movie. I left in January, and here we are, guys.
Yeah.
No concerts.
Yes. So Entwistle, he had passed by then, but yeah, that must have been a great show.
It was amazing. Yeah.
So how has the ride been? Because I know as soon as the trailer dropped, a lot of people started freaking out about it because the trailer was phenomenal, and I've been hearing nothing about good things about the movie.
Yeah.
Did you know this was going to be such a success when you were making it, or did you have that gut feeling, or is this like a surprise?
Well, first of all, the ride's great because I'm here with you guys, so thank you.
Oh, thank you.
And I went and saw the movie actually at the drive-in yesterday, and seeing people's reactions and like honking their horns, and like the creatures getting destroyed by Nick, or the pinball scene when they're doing the dance and they're honking their horns, they're flashing their lights.
That's right.
It was the coolest, man. I read the script and I knew it was lightning in a bottle. Like I said, I'm a kid from the 80s, of course. I was born in the 70s. Saw Star Wars when I was 6, and blown away. And Evil Dead's one of my favorite movies. Of course, Sam Raimi is my favorite director. I read the script and I just saw it all. I saw Raimi and I saw pop culture. I saw vintage. I'm a huge geek, collector. I got Sideshow and Hot Toys and my old Kenner figures and comic books. I saw comic books. I saw Silver Age and Bronze Age in it. And I just saw it in a blender, and I was just so excited to be a part of this movie. And kind of a cool story. Siren Sarah, Jess Davis, who played Siren Sarah, she was in an acting class with Geo Parsons, who wrote the script, and she read the script and loved it and took it to her husband, Jeremy Daniel Davis, and he was the producer on it, and he took it to me, and I fell in love with it, and so we partnered up and on the project.
Yeah, see, I was like Phil. I didn't watch anything. Like, all I did was, I was like, Willy's Wonderland, like, what is that? Like, and Leo had mentioned that we might be chatting with you, so I'm like, all right, let me just look this up. And I looked at the poster art on IMDb, and I'm like, that's all I need to know. I'm not looking at anything because I love going into these.
That's awesome. That's good for you. That's old school, right?
Yeah.
I used to have a friend, and it's like, you got to see this trailer, and he's like, no, I'm good. I just want to see the movie, and I'm like, oh, you got to see it, And now it's just blitzkrieg everywhere, and you start seeing stuff, and it's like you feel like you've already seen the movie, at this point, you know. So it's really cool that you did that, you know. It's awesome.
I wanted to go into it with no preconceived notions. I knew that Nick was in it, and like you had
That's all
me
you
at
need
Nick
to know.
Cage. Yeah,
thank you.
I always I will do this whenever I'm online. Someone's like, "Oh, did you see this movie with Nick Cage?" And I'll comment right in. It's like Academy Award winner Nick Cage.
Hells yeah.
So I was gonna say my first question for you, without giving anything away, knowing how good of an actor Nick is and the emotion and fire that he can put into his work.
Yeah.
How did that factor in with his dialogue in this film without giving anything away?
Okay. So he was the only one for this part. Okay. And it took a brave actor to do this part. We knew that. And he stepped up to the role and he was great. You know, I look at Nick as a genre. He's his own genre, man, you know? And so with him, it was just it was I think what he loved about was a challenge, and to turn things on its head that maybe other people thought different, you know, maybe of him or something, you know. And so it was something that to surprise people, you know, and I think he did such a fantastic job on it. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah. And anyone who's seen it will know exactly what we're talking about. Yeah. And then when folks watch it, they'll know exactly what we're talking about.
I love you guys, man. You guys are great, man. You're not giving secrets away. You're not doing, you know, dropping the bombs, man.
If we give something away, like, we're doing a huge disservice, because I don't want to tell anybody really anything that's going on in this movie, because you are going to be surprised.
So I have to walk with mind bombs with you guys now. Like I gotta just okay, I gotta be very careful of my words now. I know where we're going here. So that's good. It's good. Because sometimes I just go rant and rave, and it's like, okay, we're not giving secrets away. This is cool. Okay.
Well, let me ask you, because you mentioned you know, Evil Dead. You know, so obviously you like Bruce Campbell and stuff, and I could even have seen someone like him playing this role. But you were able to get some really good cast members here, because you got Beth Grant from Donnie Darko and The Office. She had some good roles in there too, and of course Nicolas Cage to play the role that he did, and then Emily Tosta, who's kind of big right now because of her television show. How did you guys get this cast? Because this is a huge coup to be able to get such a great cast for this film.
Thank you. Well, they really liked the script, and I met Emily in LA before, in December, and we had such a great lunch and just talked about the project. And guys, I did like a 70-page shot list for the movie, and I just prepped everything because that's what I felt it needed. And it wasn't a movie where you just, what are we feeling today? It was a movie that needed to be precise. So I did shot lists on every shot in the movie with lenses and everything. I worked with my DP, Dave Newbert, who did an amazing job. And so it was cool when I met Em. We just hung out, and I was showing her the shot list and telling her, are you ready for something like this? Because this isn't some freestyle form. This is going to be very precise. Hit your mark here, and I needed actors to understand that. And they did. They were down for it, man. And it was great. And Beth Grant, I can't say anything. She's just amazing. And it was so cool. She'd sit there and look at the shots, and we'd be touching the camera and this and that. She's like, oh, I see what you're doing, and she knew we were doing something different, a little bit. And it sounded cool too, because setting up the shots, and it was like, is this too much? And it's like, hey, it's Nick Cage versus animatronic weasel. Nothing's too much, man. We're making, let's go for the gusto, so, and I love,
just gorilla to the urinal.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
that was awesome.
We did the thing, we call it Rage Cage, or now but it should be called Cage Rage. But so what we did, Dave and I, was anytime he got, was going to fight the creatures, I wanted to give it this kind of Popeye moment, and the idea at first would be chugging a bunch of spinach or chugging the punch pop, and you see the punch pop flying down in his, heart, and going out and says, but we had 20 days to shoot the movie. It ain't gonna happen. So we did Rage Cage, and it was like this under crank camera, like 18 frames per second. And then we did the shake, and then we would take lens flashlights and light it in the lens to lens flares, and it was like that was Rage Cage. So it was always cool, like when Nick was ready to go throw down, it was like, okay, let's do the Rage Cage. And I love filmmakers. Of course, Sam Raimi is my favorite. Darren Aronofsky inspires me so much, and Requiem for a Dream, I love that movie. I know it's hard to watch, but the aesthetics are just amazing. I remember seeing that movie in college. I finished my first movie, working on my second or something, but I remember seeing it and I was like, man, I got to up my game. Like that's going on, but there's that scene where Marlon Wayans is in the jail cell and he's shaking, and it's like the celluloid's coming off the projector, and it's like that's what I wanted for Rage Cage, and so we figured it out. There's a thing called the image shaker, I believe, and we were looking at that, and that they use that for a lot of earthquake scenes in movies, and I was like, okay, we could do that, and let's bring in the image shaker, but it's like, man, this was like guerrilla filmmaking, and I was like, let's bring in the shopping carts, man. Let's just shoot the shit out of this movie, that was the goal, and I only had one suit, guys, so it's like I once I destroyed that suit, so we had 8 creatures, 7 were suits, and then Ozzy was a puppet, and so I knew once we just they were designed by Ken Hall, he's amazing, and once we destroyed those creature suits, and Nick destroyed those creature suits, and that was it. That was all she wrote. So I had to be very careful on our angles and how we got it and captured it. And I wanted it to be different. Every fight be different, not monotonous. Like, okay, here comes another one. So I really tried to mix it up, the best I could on a 20-day shoot. And you notice things like, I call it the fridge cam or the oven cam. We had to saw the back of the fridge, saw the back of the oven.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just show up and go, hey, let's put the camera in the oven. That doesn't work. It takes 2-3 hours to get that. You know what I mean? So we had everything prepped, and that was what was valuable with that shot list. And you guys, I walked away on that movie to 85-90% on that shot list. And I shot the cut. I only had 2 to 3 takes at most. I remember telling Nick, Nick, I got 2 to 3 takes, and I'm it's 20 days on. He's like, well, Kevin, I like to get in 1. And I was like, that is so cool. And he did. And we would be setting up with a second team and checking, the lens length and everything, and figuring that out. And Nick would be watching, and he would just come in and take the punch pop and just nail it. And his stand-in was fantastic, but Nick was that kind of guy. He wasn't in his trailer hanging out. He was looking at the monitor. He had a great relationship with my DP, and the camera crew. I was always with them, with us. And he came to play, guys, man. He didn't phone anything in, man. One of my favorite things is coming to set, especially with the action, and I hear his boots just clump, clump, clump. And it's like you knew he was just ready to throw down. And he was a dream. He's an amazing actor, amazing partner to make a film with. But he has such a great soul as a human being. I mean that. We didn't get in one creative disagreement, and you just feel it's like he deserves everything and more. He works so hard. He would do stunts in the morning and right before shooting and prep, and we'd work on stunts. And it was kind of cool. God, I forgot his martial arts, but he created martial arts. He's really into Bruce Lee and stuff. And he created martial arts when he was younger. And I was like, Nick, let's throw some of that in, man. Like, let's do it. And it was just Charlie Paris was our stunt coordinator, and Charlie was great. And we just worked on these fight scenes, and I was just worried. I didn't want people to think, oh, it's just guys in suits, and so I really tried to with the angles and how to capture it. Wanted, you got to believe they're animatronics, and I knew, post and the sounds and stuff, but yeah, I really, that was one thing that kept me up at night, was figuring out about Willy. And it's like, man, this movie is a tightrope movie. I mean, it could come off just goofy and we're just dead. And so I was like, how do we shoot it? So if you notice in the movie, like, there's never these full shots of Willy or whatever. It's like we build up to it, and how we lit it, was very key. And I wanted to be, I called it colorful dark. I love, comics, like I said, and it's a dark subject matter, right? Because you got this kid stuff and we're turning it on its head. And but it's a colorful movie full of pastels, and it's just the Technicolor, end sequence, which I love with the well, I'm not giving stuff away, but the finale, and just I want to make a bright movie, but I knew it was dark subject matter, but a colorful movie, and that's what I remember going to, like Showbiz and Chuck E. Cheese, and I wanted to capture that real feeling. They're not going to be around anymore, I know, because of COVID, and they were kind of dying out anyway. So we're like a generation. I'm sure we all grew up with that stuff, and
Yeah.
I got 4 kids. I got 2 teenagers and 2 boys at 5 and 7, and of course my teenagers have gone to it. My little boys went to it too, and it's funny. I did some reconnaissance. I'm so tired of the animatronics research, but I went to Chuck E. Cheese, and I was like, look, I can't go by myself. I need you kids, or Dad's gonna be a perv. Walked out. You'll look at the birthday parties. Sorry, officer, I'm doing research. Yes,
Yeah.
you're right to remain silent.
Actually,
So
there's an adult. Well, it's an all ages store. I think it's New Hampshire, the Yankee Candle Factory.
oh, okay.
And
That's Massachusetts, actually.
Oh, it's Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on the border with Mass and Vermont.
Yeah. So the main headquarters, and last time I went, which is a long time ago, but they did have an animatronic, band singing within the
Really?
stand there. Yeah. The place is
cool.
huge. When you leave, your nose no longer functions because it's all Yankee candles.
Oh wow, my wife would love that.
Yeah. But it's amazing.
Well, when I did the reconnaissance, I was just doing research and stuff, and I was looking at the birthday parties and everything with the kids, and I really want to get in the psyche about why we are scared of these animatronics, and it came to be about ambivalence, just like clowns. Why are clowns scary?
Yeah.
Well, they're supposed to be fun and with the smile and stuff, but there's this ambivalence and about it, and it's funny, watching the kids and how they would react to one animatronic but not the other and stuff, and it was really fascinating. And I was like, if we could tap into this movie, we'll have something just like it did,
Mhm.
And I really was concerned about that. And so I was doing research on it and just reading things. And I really wanted to capture that feel, especially the 80s, when you did go to Showbiz Pizza and stuff like that. And one thing I thought was really cool was Frank Gabriel did the artwork for the posters and the pinball machine, all the animated creatures. All the characters, and it was like I wanted a Hanna-Barbera Woody Woodpecker style to it, and he did such a great job. And but they look so different from the animatronics, from the real, the puppet and the creature suits. And if you look at Chuck E. Cheese and Showbiz, it's like the same thing. You got these great cartoons, the coloring books and everything, but they look so different from these animatronics, and it's scary. I mean, Willy looks freaking scary, and but then Willy, the cartoon is just, cute as can be. I got my little boys always drawing them and stuff like that. And so I just thought that was kind of an inside joke because, and I hope people got it. I think they do. But I just think it's hilarious that these, cartoons, they look nothing like these, big found, Charles E. Cheese, and with the big teeth and the eyes. The eyes were a big thing too. The eyes, the servos, eyes in the mouth. I noticed that, and so what we did, we put pulleys in the suits, so the stunt people, there were stunt men and women, they could pull the pulleys, and they move the eyes and the mouth. That was very important to me, to make it look real, and man, I did a lot of research, on this stuff.
You can
got
tell.
to.
Yeah.
You got to. Oh, thank you. It's I just really want to make it authentic, like Willy's existed. That was really important to me. I know we're making a fantasy and a leave your brain at the door Gonzo movie, but there had to be some believability to it, and so I really enjoyed all the creatures. I think they're fun animatronics. I think they all have their little moment in the sun on the film. So.
Yeah, I think you definitely tapped into that that nostalgia, as well as like almost like that uncanny valley fear of these things that don't quite look the way they're supposed to. And I think that the Raimi influence absolutely gets in there, because you see some of the stuff
awesome.
in any like Evil Dead 2, when they have all the stuff is coming to life and like everything's laughing at it. It looks ridiculous, but if you were to see that in real life, you'd shit yourself. And I think you kind of captured that with the way these animatronics look.
Well, guys, I was really worried too. Going to film school, it's like it's still ingrained in you, but it's like, I remember, back in the day, and you don't want to be the rip-off artist. Like, I'm just ripping shots off, and you do that. You go to film school, people see their short films, and it's like, wow, they just saw Terminator 2, and they're trying to do the thing, and it's not working, right? And it's like I was really concerned about that, because I was like, there's another movie I love called Revenge. I just love that movie.
Oh, yeah,
My
that's a good
DP and
one.
I love that movie. Yeah, Revenge was fantastic.
Yeah.
The way that she was amazing, that director. And
she was.
another one that I loved was oh my gosh, you guys, I can't believe him. It'll come to me.
If you tell us what it's about, we'll know it. I'll tell you.
It was Italian.
Probably.
Oh my God! Corpses. Let the corpses tan.
Okay.
Let the corpses tan. What a amazing movie. All these extreme close-ups and stuff. That kind of helped the style of the opening. But I was really concerned, because I do love Sam, and I love Danny Boyle and Nicholas Renfin. Winding Renfin. Drive is one of my favorite movies the last 10 years. And I didn't want to be the rip-off artist and just talk cinema. Like, okay, this shot's from Drive, this shot's from here. And it was cool. Like, I had this really great conversation with my DP, and he's like, Kev, you love this stuff. It's great. He goes, but you're going to filter it yourself. It's never going to come out them, And it was such a reassurance, guys, because, in this film industry, there's a lot of insecurity, and I knew this was a big break for me, and I didn't want to mess it up, and so I worked really hard on this shot list and trying to just do something unique and different. I feel like the movie is very self-referential. It's like it knows what it is, and I'm not making high art, okay? But to me, I was. This was my Citizen Kane. I treated these creatures with reverence, they're not just some goofy kid mascots, and of course I got Nick Cage, the Academy Award winner Nick Cage, and then there's some amazing talent with Terrell and Christian Negracio and Emily and Beth and David Shaftel and just all the kids, Kaylee and Kai.
Yeah, it was a great
so
cast.
Yeah, it was so much fun, guys. We improv'd a lot on that. My also another fear was the teenagers. I just didn't want them to be. I'm playing on tropes, okay? So I'm playing on the 80s. They're having sex, and the gator's watching, right? Like, how stupid can you get, And I'm playing on all that stuff, but I'm kind of wanting to wink at you guys that we all grew up with that stuff, and it's we all know it, And so I'm playing on tropes, but I also don't want to be a trope. I didn't want to be just this is what he's gonna do. And it's funny because some reviews say it like, oh, the typical kids, whatever. It's like that was intentional. And so I worked really hard with the kids trying to make them, people care for them. And it's tough, when you're starting to knock down the 10 little Indians process, I call it, where it's just like you're knocking them down, and you're trying to have the Liv, caring for Fred, but like she's on the run, and you see these horror movies all the time, and they're like, oh, their friend just died, or what are they, I remember my son watched Nightmare on Elm Street when he was like in 7th grade. What great dad I am, right? But he watched Nightmare on Elm Street, And he's like, Tina, and he kept going, Tina, like joking with it. And I was like, man, I was his age. I was freaking out about this scene, and he was like making fun of it. And so you see that generational gap, right?
Mhm.
And so I was like, that kept me up at nights, making these kids, like of the now, but making you care about them and stuff like that. And I just didn't want to be just the dumb teenagers, but they kind of work. We were playing on tropes, So that's a tough thing in itself, the balance. And I give those actors so much credit, because we would come up with stuff, and I'm like, guys, throw it out, man. Let's what were we really doing here? We know we have to go to point A to point B, and like Christian and Kai, like they came up with the whole pouring gas on my gas. I loved it, and stuff like that. And so, but I had time to improv with those guys because sometimes those pages, those days were light. But man, when I was with Nick and I got into Willy's and the interior, I was shooting 7 pages a day, 8 pages, and it was clean set, dirty set. We couldn't go back to clean, dirty. You shot all clean, and then we had to go dirty it up. And if I didn't get all clean, man, I'm done. So I had to make sure I get all clean. Then art department came. We had to move over to another set. Then they would dirty it up when we come back, and and then I had, like I said, 7 pages and action and fights, So and that takes time. So I'm really proud of the work we did, especially with the kids. But I had time to do that. I would love to have done that with Nick, And Beth Grant is amazing too, because like you give her 2 or 3 takes, she's just warming up, man. She's just going. I could have been there for 20 or 30 takes, man. We could have had the Sheriff Lunch show, Nick would be the same, But like Nick said, he likes to get in one. He gives you the one take that's the script, the one and then he goes Cage after he goes just Cage, man. And I would have loved. I've been there all day shooting that 30 takes with Nick, and I mean amazing, but couldn't do it. So had to be really prepped and prepared. So
yeah, I was going to ask if you saved money by having Nick clean up everything after you guys were done shooting.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it fascinating that you could just watch Nick Cage clean? I mean, he's great,
awesome.
Isn't he?
Yeah,
It was great. I was like, he's doing a hell of a good job. Like, this is great.
So I know we're running on time, but I had a couple questions. One actually regarding that is with him keeping schedule and not giving anything away, but with him cleaning and then his break and he has to stop and then take his break. Was there a deeper meaning to that wasn't really covered? Because my mind went like somewhere like
he seemed very regimented to me. Like
I like this energy drinks.
You could look at him as his OCD, very OCD, right? He has to do this routine. I mean, I could give stuff away. I'm not going to, but there's scenes in this movie where it's like, are you kidding me? And he has to go do his routine. So I kind of looked at it that way. And there's a shout out to COVID, man. He washes his hands. And so, but no, there's things, it was kind of cool too. Cause like, again, I'll give that away, but the idea of, him doing his nails and, I just like, we got to find something else. I said, props, what do we got? And they gave me like 10 things. And I was like, brought it to Nick. I go, Nick, what do you think? And he's like, I like that one. Like, let's do it, So trying to add that in, because I just felt there was more. I was obsessed with the cleaning too, guys. So I was like, there was times I'm like, I don't have enough cleaning. I need, so let's get B camera over there and get some cleaning shot. There was one I'd be like, having just the camera here is like, okay, Nick, trash the arm, trash this. Okay, throw him another trash bag. Boom. He's trashed the arm, trashed it. Boom. Because wanted to make sure you're telling the narrative, because that is part of the narrative, right? What he's doing. And Breaking Bad, it was influenced myself and Ryan Liebert, the editor, great editor, great job. And we did that thing in the bathroom. It was a shout out to Breaking Bad. I love that show. So there is homage. I know what Scorsese says. Hey, rip-offs are great. Just rip it off. I'm not Scorsese, so I was very just nervous. Like I want to make my own movie, and I don't, but all these have influenced me, but so is comic books, I would go to Nick and he's such a comic book fan. And I'd be like, here's the Neil Adams shot with Superman, busting out of the chains, I was like, we're gonna do the Neil Adams shot. That was like him putting the t-shirt on, or I did a Tim Burton Batman one when he reveals Keaton as Batman. I did that thing with a shirt, so I would pull references, pop culture references on that. We talked comics.
I was going to say, I'm sure he hated all the Superman references.
No, I know. It's funny. God, I would love to talk to him about that. But I did say Superman, didn't I? But, it's interesting. He told me that his Superman comic got stolen, and his Batman comic, I think the first Detective. And they found the Superman comic, and it was worth more, of course, than he paid for it. So that was cool. But what's interesting, he told me if he finds the Batman comic, he's gonna keep that one. Yeah. So, but that was cool. But yeah, I love pop culture, guys. I love what you got. I love it, except the Dallas Cowboys. I'm from Denver, so I'm Denver Broncos, but it's all good.
Oh, I got a Drew Lock up here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, tilted up there, right here.
Oh man,
Drew Lock.
That's awesome.
My wife's a Cowboys fan. She grew up in Texas.
Okay, cool.
That's Michael Irvin.
Wow. It's funny, I'm from Denver, so of course Elway and Manning, but I mean, can we just talk about Tom Brady for a moment? Terrell Davis. But Brady, I'm a Brady hater. When we won the Super Bowl in 2015, though, I gave it up, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to just watch him because he's only got a couple more years left, and Peyton's retired. And I mean, when I got COVID, and fighting for my life, I know it sounds cheeseball, but I did think about Brady a lot, and I'm like, there's this guy, I can't even freaking stand up, and I'm watching this guy, and it was just amazing. And when the doc came in and said I won the Super Bowl, it was pretty amazing. He was like, you are Tom Brady. Sorry, Tom, I'm not. But it meant a lot,
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, I'm getting off tangent.
No, overcoming adversity and defeating the odds there's never anything wrong with that. And I was going to say is, when you're talking about, homages and ripoffs and whatnot, I like it when directors or, writers will sprinkle in little things that's like, hey, you influenced me. Here's like a little nod to you because I respect your work. Yes, exactly.
Well, I would like to add to that, Patsy, which is, Nicolas Cage did Drive Angry. Obviously, you're a big fan of the grindhouse type films of the 70s and 80s.
Oh, yeah.
And Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez have done those films, Hobo with a Shotgun, all those type. You mentioned Revenge, and you were trying to make your own. And pay tribute to those type of films, and you did a damn good job.
Exactly.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. That means a lot.
This was such a fun film. My wife and I watched it. We're like, oh my god, this is amazing. Like it blew my mind how good this was. I mean, I was expecting it to be good. I was expecting to like it because again, looking at the poster, I'm like, this looks like it's going to be amazing. And getting to see it and having those memories of like these weird animatronics. I remember when I was like 4 or 5 years old going to a place called Paddle Wheel Pizza. It was, they had these weird ass like animatronics and it freaked me out. And I was like, these things are weird. And I just had a traumatic experience, like, with like, I was at a party and somebody had been dressed up as a gorilla, like they were delivering balloons, and I ended up getting like trampled by the guy because everybody was drinking, and so I was like, I already was freaked out about these. So like this brought out like a little bit of that visceral childhood terror, like of these weird costumed characters.
But we all have those memories, right? I remember I had a birthday party at Showbiz Pizza, and my friend Dean Johnson, and we were like in 5th grade, and he drops the chilies in the Pepsi. And so then everybody's drinking Pepsi, and we're just spitting it up with chilies. And he had a ball on that. And I was trying to figure that in the movie to do something like that. I couldn't do it, but we got the commercial in, which I really wanted, because those cheesy commercials are great, And a shout out to Screen Media, man, for like what they've done in the marketing. They did that faux commercial, and that was just amazing. I loved it. That's kind of what I wanted, and the vibe in the movie. So. We all had our traumatic experiences at these places, so this is cathartic, right?
Yes.
Watch Willy, watch Nick beat up these animatronics, you know. Did you feel sorry for Willy at the end? I mean, that was kind of the intent too. Like, I feel, guys, I honestly, I had Jedi going on that. When you know, sister, so you have it between sister, you know,
Yeah.
and no, he comes out and and it's the dolly, you know, and you know, and I was like, I did like a dolly shot, but we put chairs in front of it and stuff. But I kind of, I don't know, man. I kind of wanted that vibe of just kind of feeling like Willy ain't no Vader. I get it, but I just wanted to kind of be like, man, the guy's even got one lick in now on the channel. You know?
Now that what you're saying, I actually got more of that fight in Cloud City on Bespin, where he's just
yeah, all right, I'll take that.
He's just getting overwhelmed and he's just getting wrecked, and he has to come back. You know, kind of change. No, he's got different outlook, different attitude, and he comes back. Then you get the Jedi moment. So like you got both of them together.
Oh, hey, that made my day.
Yeah, he's got his burlap sack.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And
originally, I had the idea. What I thought would be kind of cool was to, as he's taking these creatures out, he's taking pieces of them. So like he pulls an eyeball out of Ozzy, or like takes the sword of Nighty Night, and you cut. You don't know what it is. And at the end, when he comes out, he has a freaking Voltron sword or some weapon that he's made of all the creatures. This organic weapon that he and then he uses the creatures to kill Willy. You know, and Willy's pissed. You know, so it was fun, but again, 20 days and like okay, we're going a little overboard here.
Yeah, but you know what?
We'll do the punch pop.
The 20 days is perfect, though. I mean, obviously you prefer to have more, but those type of films that you're paying tribute to had only 20 days or whatever. And so you had to do just like them, right?
Yeah.
And you
totally.
pulled off, you know.
Totally. Oh, that's awesome, guys.
Yeah. I'll tell you one thing. If this was last year, I would have had this on my top 10 horror films of the year. So I think it's going to stay there this year too, with the end of this year. And it's already it's only Q1. You know, that's how good this film is.
You guys are awesome.
This is definitely a top 10. Like, oh, this was so good. Like when we found out we were going to be chatting with you, it's like, oh, this is awesome. Like I need to talk to this guy about this stuff.
Oh, so cool.
Yes, I put it on completely blind. I put it on completely blind. And my wife's asked me what is it? And I said, I don't know. It looks like it's some, I don't know. It looks crappy or whatever. And then
it doesn't matter.
And then the first 3 minutes, I go, all right, this is good. And then when you see Nicolas Cage, I say, okay, this is gonna be good. So my wife comes home and she goes, so how was the movie? Was it as bad as you thought? I go, no, this movie was the best. It was awesome. And I immediately instant message like all my podcast friends and said, oh, dude, you gotta all see this film. It's awesome.
Wow, that's so cool. That's so cool. That's what I made it for, man. For us. I made it for the pop culture fans, the fanboys and girls, all that. Like I was channeling that making this film, you know, and it's just I'm so happy that people are digging it, you know.
Well, we certainly did, and we applaud you, and especially surviving COVID. Thank you, just amazing.
Thanks, guys.
We're going to let you go. I'm going to leave you with two last questions, if you don't mind.
Great. Absolutely.
So, and I'll get them out all at once. First was, with the success of the movie, are you planning to continue the adventure? And then last question is, what was your favorite moment of filming with Cage?
Okay, so the first one is, I think there's many adventures for the Janitor. I think, you know, I'm excited about the possibility of that. A lot of ideas. It's really cool. Everybody that I've been doing interviews with and talked to, even last night at the drive-in, people were coming up because I met Gio there, the writer, and Dave Newbert, the DP. It was so cool, guys, hanging out with them and watching the movie and just saying we did it. You know, it was so surreal. You know, and anyways, everybody's asking about it. Yeah. So as long as the fans keep asking about it and want me to make it, and Jeremy to come back and produce it, and Emwa. Can we talk about Emwa for a second? Emwa did all the score himself. He did the Willy voice, and he did the whole score. He didn't have a music editor. He had nobody. He did it all himself. He did the birthday song before we shot the movie. So I had the birthday song because I was talking about I want a main theme, the kids' theme, and then I want to turn it on its head through the movie. So we had the birthday song, and he put on a Chuck E. Cheese commercial, old video. And so it was cool. The day I met Nick, we did wardrobe, and I showed it to him, and he loved it. And so when we were shooting those scenes, I had the birthday song playing, and I knew we were onto something because the crew was like, I cannot get this song out of my mind. And the next day, Kevin, I had nightmares of this song. I was like, yeah, we are onto something. And we would play it and use it when we shoot the movie. So yeah, MWAD just did an incredible job. And so yeah, guys, I think there's many. I think like I say, also my friend Paul N.J. Otteson, he did the sound for me. Now, Paul won 3 Academy Awards. He won it for Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. He worked with Raimi on Spider-Man. He did Drag Me to Hell. He's worked with Roland Emmerich, all the greats, Catherine Bigelow. And so he did this for me as a favor, but then he really liked the movie a lot. And so he mixed and sound designed the film. And I knew that we needed a killer sound design for this movie. There's nothing worse than you see an indie film, and maybe it looks great, but the sound's terrible. You're out. It's over. Especially with a movie like this. Any film, yeah. But when you see an indie film and it's like, man, it's just like the sound. It just I can't even watch this, And so I was like, Paul did me such a solid, and not to mix. So we were going to mix at Sony, and with COVID, you just can't. And so he got his equipment from Sony and brought it to his house and did this for me. It's amazing. I had great friends, man, on this movie. My friend Scott was a producer, helped with some financing. I couldn't make this movie without these guys. So, anyways, I hope there's a sequel. I think there could be. I would love Nick. It's up to Nick, if he wants to do it. It's going to be up to us to come up with a killer script, and a killer story. But hey, man, you guys want it? Everybody's talking about it. Every day I have that question. I think it's awesome. Bring it. Let's do it.
I could totally see him as like the John Wick of horror. He's like,
the man with no name, the Clint Eastwood, right? Right?
Yeah, I was also thinking like you do a Mad Max vibe.
Yeah.
There's just so many cool things we could do. So yes, I'm down for it, man. If everybody wants it,
and if you need anybody doing voice acting cheap, I'm available.
Sounds good.
I already do voice acting, so I will.
Okay, great. Okay, good.
I will totally do it.
All right. And then the second is my favorite.
Your favorite memory
scene,
from with Cage.
So many. I'll tell you.
How do you choose?
Let me tell you what. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll tell you my favorite scene of the movie, and I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you why, and just a little bit about it. My favorite scene, and I have to give it away a little bit, but my favorite scene of the movie is the nighty night at the end, and it's just the zooms, and it's the zoom onto him with the gunk, and then it's on the zoom onto her. And I did a lot of zooms in this movie, guys. I did the zoom when he's at the door, and he looks and he turns, and it's just Willy and him. And actually, I was thinking that might make a cool teaser. Just drop that, Nick Cage, wah, Willy the Weasel, wah, But anyways, the zooms I just love because it just gets into the psyche of what's going on, right? And so that scene was the last scene on a Thursday, and in the script it had some dialogue like Liv got a trash bag, and what do you want me to do, and all that. And we were shooting, and I was like, I'm cutting all dialogue. It's 2 zooms. That's it. It's all we need. She's in the cage with the real Cage, and that's all you need to know, And so, and also, if you notice, the dialogue is starting to slim down even with her. And when she gets the Tito scene, that's the last thing she says. And the ending, I cut dialogue there too. She's like, give me a ride, give me a lift, whatever. I cut it all out because she's becoming more janitor-like, So that scene for me, the end of Nighty Night and the stare downs and the zooms, and the music, MWA did such an incredible job with the music.
Great score.
Great score, guys. Right? And when I talk to him, it's like I want a very Carpenter vibe. to the movie, and I wanted the Janitor theme, and wow, 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 like guitar. That was the dialogue, with the Janitor, and just great stuff. So that nighty night scene for me, I just love, and I want to make more movies like this, guys. I saw my kids doing a 30 friend watch party, my teens, and I was so happy. We're not together. This movie was like a Midnight Madness Toronto Film Festival. I was looking forward to going to the cons. I was looking forward to meeting you in person, and all this, and with what's going on in the world. And I think we need it, with what's going on in the world, and seeing my kids and their friends, and watch the movie, and it's like I want to make more movies like this. I want to put smiles on people's faces, and damn the critics that don't like it. If they say I got rocks in my brain or arrows. I think one said you have to have an arrow in your brain to like it. Well, I got 10 of them then, because I love this stuff. So
I don't know what some people just write bad reviews so they can be like, oh, yeah. I didn't like this. I'm sophisticated.
They would never like this movie if we had Meryl Streep in it at 30 million. This is not their kind of. It's called Willy's Wonderland.
Yeah,
if that doesn't give you what this movie's about, Willy's Wonderland.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
well, that's the reason why I didn't know if it was going to be any good. I was like, "What's this title?" And again, I didn't even see I didn't know anything about the film, and I was like, and it's awesome. It's the best. But that's the perfect title for one of those faux grindhouse, tribute type films. It was a great title, like Hobo with a Shotgun. I mentioned that one, or the Tan Skin one, from France or Italy. So those are great. It was a great title.
Like punk rock. Rave at 2 a.m. That's what I had in mind when I wanted to make Willy's.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah,
punk rock.
Yeah,
punk fucking rock.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Johnny Lydon and the rest of them from Sex Pistols, right? There you go.
Yeah, hell yeah, man.
Yeah. Nice.
Kevin, I want to thank you so much for joining us this evening. Absolute blast.
Awesome.
I had such a great time with you guys.
Same here.
Same here, buddy. Yeah. You're the best, dude. You rule.
Oh, thanks, guys. I could be here another 2 hours, man. I'd love this to come on sometime. We can just talk shop. Films
absolutely.
Or we could talk about my early
sports, music,
career. Talk about whatever you guys want to talk about, man.
I would love to hear about your career.
Any of my shows. I have like 4 shows. You can go on any one of them.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's cool. Like I interned for John McTiernan and Renny Harlin back in the day when I was in college, and I was telling some people. Yeah, and it's like I was on the set of Sony when Coppola was shooting Dracula with the silver bug, fish bus, and Spielberg shooting Hook, and I just have it's funny. It's like I feel like I'm such a vet in this industry, although this is like my biggest film, and I've had some successes. I've had a lot of setbacks, like everybody. It's a hard road, Stay on that road. I tell everybody, movie making is about faith. You have to have faith in the people you're working with. You have to have faith, and there's so many people, guys, that on that road that want to just push you off, and you just got to stay the course, So. But I love you guys. I had a great time today. Thank you.
This is great. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
Stay in touch, and we'll beyond just promoting the movie. Like, I'd love to just shoot the shit with you for another hour and a half.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Great.
Anytime you got something you want to talk about, we'd love to bring you back. And then, obviously, we'd love to have you back for anything. We do.
Great.
We even do a comic show on Tuesdays as well.
Oh, very cool.
I have a sports show.
You do? Wow. Okay. Yeah, dude. I got 4 kids, so you guys keep me sane. Sometimes I feel my IQ is just diminishing, minute by minute. So it's really kind of cool to talk to the grown-ups a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I just put the munchkins to bed right before you came on. So
how many kids do you have?
I got 2, a 5 and a 7-year-old girl, 2 girls. Yeah.
Oh, 2 girls. Okay, so we got 2 boys, a 5 and a 7.
How about that?
We
arranged marriage. You can build your political power. See, it was meant to be.
So awesome. That's great.
That's awesome.
Okay.
We will join our houses.
The house. That's right. Listen, Philip. Yeah. Very good.
Right. It's awesome.
What we'll do is we'll let you go, sir. We're going to play the trailer, and feel free to hop out after that. And then when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about this, some thoughts on it. Thank you so much, and we'd love to talk to you
guys.
Yeah,
thank you. Have a great weekend, guys.
You too.
Yeah, you too.
All right.
All right, my friend.
Kevin. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
Rock on, man.
Rock on, baby.
Here's the trailer for Willy's Wonderland.
Welcome to Willy's Wonderland. Spend the night cleaning Willy's Wonderland, and I will pay to have your car fixed. Deal? You are officially on staff. Let's get the hell out of here. I can't stand to hear a grown man scream.
This place has a dark history. I know the bullshit story they told you. It's a lie. You're here to be a human sacrifice. Have you been listening to a word I've been saying? He's gonna die in here, but he won't listen to me.
The machines got out. Nobody is safe. Put your balls on, Evan. We're going to Willy's.
He's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped in here with him.
It's your birthday, and we want you to have fun. It's your birthday, so let's hurry up. It's birthday time.
I enjoy a man of few words.
Oh, that's amazing. I had seen the trailer.
Yeah, that's the first time I've seen the trailer, too. I haven't watched it.
That's what hooked me. I saw the trailer, I think, back in November, and it was like, holy shit.
No, I don't like
I didn't even know this
for
movie.
anything.
I didn't even know that. I watched no trailers either. I don't like them. And I didn't even know this film existed until this week, basically.
No, I will watch trailers for certain things, like the Godzilla versus Kong trailer. I was nuts
Yes,
over.
you dissected it. Dude, you saw Mecha Godzilla.
Yes.
Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, I went so nuts with it. But like for this, if it's something that we're going to cover, if it's something that we're going to cover, I won't watch the trailer. I will wait. Like, I don't want to be influenced in any way, shape, or form.
Same here. I don't. I always go in blind. Always.
I think that trailer, based on what I know of the movie, I think that trailer gives away far too much.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I thought after watching the trailer, I thought the movie went in a completely different direction than I thought it was going to go.
No,
I'm with Patsy on this one.
Yeah, they gave me, it gave me too much information without giving anything away again.
Yeah.
Certain dialogue choices that were made in the film, certain things like, watching him snap the broom handle over his thigh and just go nuts. Like, don't show that. Like,
don't show any of that, man. Come on.
So without spoiling it, when we were talking with him, I definitely got the Popeye vibe. With that, but also I got a very Mortal Kombat feel with one of the fights. Yes, I know exactly which one you're talking about. Yeah,
that's what you're saying. Yeah.
I will also say the Rage Cage part also reminds me, again, being a kid from the 80s, when Hulk Hogan used to Hulk out and nobody could hurt him, like right before he would win his match, he would start shaking and then he would get up and like somebody would hit him and he would just look at him like, and he'd get up and throw him off the rope, big boot, leg drop, game over. Like that.
I remember all that. That's awesome, dude.
That's the vibe that I got from Rage Cage, which is just the best friggin' like way to describe that.
Exactly.
Because
dude, this movie was so awesome.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's the best. I mean, total surprise, dude. It was like It was like VFW last year. It just came.
Oh my God,
Early
VFW.
and it was like, and it's like, holy shit, this movie's the best.
I have VFW on VHS. Like that's how much I liked it.
I want to throw.
Go ahead.
Just want to throw one more idea at you, and we didn't get a chance to cover it much during the interview. So when I asked him about with him sticking to his schedule, like mid fight, take a break,
yes, the OCD thing. He said, yeah.
Well, I got more. So I'm deep into it. I'm thinking that he was keeping his end of the deal.
That's what I thought too. I didn't think OCD at all. I thought he was just doing his side of the deal. All the other stuff was just crap that happened to him, as if, just bad luck stuff. And he had to just finish his deal so he could get his car.
And he was cleaning everything up. He was putting it into trash bags. He was bringing it out to the dumpster.
Right.
Well,
he was doing.
So I had deeper meaning of that though. So he's keeping his end of the deal. Remember, there was another deal made as well. And
which deal? With what characters?
With
the animatronics.
Yes. There was a deal.
So it's two sides of a different deal.
Yes, and so I was thinking, if there's a sequel, there's a demon hunter involved, maybe a Constantine type of thing where each event has something different. There's a deal involved, and he has to stick to a deal in order to. I
will say that as he was discussing how the main character, the young lady there, acted and became more like him towards the end of the film.
Yeah.
I was thinking like, okay, maybe there's some sort of supernatural element to them.
Yep.
That. Maybe he is, he's got something going on and he's eventually going to need a replacement.
Yep.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah. I don't know. I was actually thinking he was more like, and I should have brought this up when we were talking to him, but that he was like a good guy version of Anton Chigurh.
Yeah.
Because he's quiet. He has principles, which is he has to finish the job. He wants to clean up everything. He wants to follow through with everything.
His like specific tick.
Yeah. There you go too.
It's the soda.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Or energy drinks or whatever the hell they were. And then
they were sodas. They were sodas because there's a part where you can see on the side it says.
Oh yeah, it says pop.
Yeah. And there's the pinball he's playing is also to pop, or there's something pop on one of the pinballs. It was like the same pop.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, he had he had the whole trunk full of them. But he only took exactly the amount he would need
while he was doing it
for his shift.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy said, make sure you take breaks, and he's like, okay, timing it, and he was taking that break no matter what.
Did he really say okay? I don't think so.
Well, he didn't say okay, but he agreed.
Yeah, right. You know what I said. It was just
he wasn't altering the terms of the deal.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, he had a set of principles, and he was going to follow through. And
I will
even
say,
if there were bad people doing stuff.
I just totally lost my train of. When you talked about Sam Raimi, I could definitely see. It almost reminded me the ostrich, like the way the ostrich moved and the neck and everything.
Oh yeah.
That gave me.
Like Evil Dead 2, the monkey creature.
Yes.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. What's her face in the basement? Her head expands. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And like the way it moved, and it's like,
and he's punching it. Yeah.
Like that's definitely an homage.
Homage. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's why.
Had he not said like he was a Raimi fan, I wouldn't have like gone with okay, that's definitely a Raimi, but like it's definitely like a slapsticky comedic thing. And like I said, he brought up Drag Me to Hell. That scene where they're doing the seance and Drag Me to Hell, and the guy like floats up in the air and starts dancing around. It's that's as a movie watcher, you're like, oh, that's fucking ridiculous. You're in that room watching that shit, and that's happening in front of you. You're shitting yourself, like, because it's absurd, but it's terrifying at the same time. And I think that's what got pulled off a lot in this film. It's like, oh, look at that alligator. Oh, he's goddamn goofy, but like, oh shit, he's eating that guy. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
yeah.
especially when, like, with the alligator and in the vent, and its jaws come out of the vent, and you see like stuff dripping from his mouth and everything. That was
Yeah.
you really got a good view of like how dangerous it really was.
And you get like the well, we can almost throw it because he talked about the stones, so I'll say the sympathy for the devil scene with the love interest of the main girl, where he was her, talking to the one character.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you have to help me, and you have to do
Right,
this,
right.
and you're getting like, oh, okay. And the way that scene plays out, there was like that first, like, holy shit, I didn't expect that, and then there was the next, like
the handoff.
Yeah, the handoff. Because that
awesome.
you're like, it's like, all right, it's going down. Oh,
Right.
maybe it's not.
Right. Yeah, but the handoff is when she became like him, I think.
Yeah, I think that because he had taken that from her earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, all right, you can have this back now. Here you go.
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry, I'm very, very busy. I have important things to do right now.
Yeah, go cleaning again.
Yeah, it's break time.
Awesome. Yeah, that's right, break time.
Yeah.
I got to go get me a punch pop, and I got to beat my high score. That dancing scene in front of the pinball machine, though, oh my
that
God.
was funny. That was funny.
What about the at the end with his boots, and he kicks the what was it, to get the music started?
Oh, the jukebox?
Yeah, he just takes a little shuffle back, kicks it, and then everything's on.
It's definitely a
fun
song.
was a perfect fit.
Oh yeah. The score was so good. Like, there wasn't anything about this that I didn't like. And we've had these conversations before, and with folks on the show as well. Sometimes we'll watch a movie and it's like, okay, let's have a pre-show huddle because we didn't really enjoy this, but like, let's talk about stuff because we know how hard people work in film. Like, let's talk about the stuff that we did like.
Yeah.
Right.
There was nothing I did not like about this film. Like,
I concur 100%, dude. 100%.
Beth Grant was awesome. Like, who's calling
Oh my God,
911?
she was
It's
so
a prank
awesome.
call. It's a prank
That was
call.
great, dude. That was awesome. That was awesome.
Put your balls on. We're going to Willy's.
Yeah, that was so awesome, dude. Oh, and then the ATM machine. Oh, we just don't have internet. And it's like, oh my God, it was a total setup, the whole thing.
You're looking like, okay, something's going on here, and like, so I kind of got onto that.
But what's funny is that if all the other people that they've done it to before, they were probably bitching and complaining. This guy's like, all right, no problem. And they were probably like shocked, like,
I guess. Oh, I'd rather not spend $1,000 to get my car fixed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and they
he couldn't, right? That was
they showed a couple of the interactions with like the family. They said, well, you can have a roof over your head. You just got to do this.
Right.
So they definitely play to what somebody would need.
I will also say that you definitely get a sense that something's up when you're in this like tiny little town, but like there's this huge expanse of all these new looking cars lining the where the garage is. Right. It's almost like the scene in
Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All the cars that are hidden in the forest.
I was gonna say The Hills Have Eyes.
That's another good one. Yeah.
So it's just like all these cars, and it's like, where are these?
Yeah, who own these cars? Where did they come
These
from?
are fairly new vehicles. I mean, they're not as fancy as his Camaro here, but these are nice. I couldn't find anything about this that I was like, oh, this is terrible. Like the gore effects. Gore effects were great,
dude, and there's barely any CGI in the film too, if at all.
Yeah, it's all practical. Like
everything's practical.
With the mouths and the eyes, and
I mean, obviously, when one character gets killed, it's CGI. But I mean, almost everything was practical. It was great, and that kept me into the film. It didn't.
Yeah, like there wasn't anything. Like so many times we've watched it, like an indie film, and it's like, well, this is pretty good, but that effect took me right out. Like totally killed the immersion, totally killed the fantasy.
Yeah.
But like with this, like we should have asked him what the budget was, because I would imagine.
Yeah.
Well,
Dude, I would have.
I can find out.
I would, please do. Well, but I would have loved to talk to the screenwriter too. I mean, I wonder how, because the whole script is tight, and then he was able to transform that into the grindhouse film that it is, and it's like I would love to know how close it was and how the other guy, the screenwriter, got the idea for this.
Like
and
he said, he had like the 70 shot list.
Yeah, right.
And he's like, this is what we're going to do, how we're going to do it.
Yeah, and I would love to know if the screenwriter had that sort of type of list as well in his head when he wrote the film, because was he thinking it was going to be a faux grindhouse film, like Hobo with a Shotgun, or did he think it was going to be a horror film? And it's curious. I would love to know, and I probably should have asked him that. I didn't even think I asked him that.
Do you want me to see if I can get the writer on?
Yeah,
I would take him. Yeah, dude.
So the budget from IMDb Pro says it's $5.5 million.
Okay, that's cool.
That's not bad at all. I'm sure.
Yeah, and this was supposed to get a Halloween release with like 2,500 theaters or something like that. I heard.
That would have blown. It would have blown through theaters, and it would have been so huge. Like,
Now, Leo, that's your homework to get the screenwriter, dude.
Yeah, I got it marked down right here. I'll try to reach out to him.
I'm just busting you, but that would be awesome.
No. This is such a good movie that we need to.
I'll cover it again. Like, I was dead serious. Like, I'll have Kevin on the sports show. I'll have him on Throwdown Thursday. Like, I'll fucking whatever. Like, this dude was awesome to talk to.
Yeah, bring him on the comic show. Maybe you can get Cage to come and talk comics.
Ooh. Can you imagine talking comic books with Nick Cage? Like, that would be
that'd be insane.
That would just be so great. So I hear you kind of like Superman.
Yeah.
Well, my son's name is Kal-El. It's like... it kind of reminds me of a story that Kevin Smith told once, where he was with his daughter. His daughter was very young at the time, like maybe like almost teen or right around teen, like 13, 14, somewhere in there. And like they stopped somewhere, and he was going into like a convenience store, and she's like, "You can't go in dressed like that," because he was wearing Batman shorts. And he looks at her and he goes, "Your name is Harley Quinn Smith. Like, had you been born a boy, your name would have been Bruce Wayne Smith. Like, and you're named after a Batman character, but you're embarrassed that I'm wearing Batman shorts." Like, that's the bridge too far.
Yeah. Are you sure they weren't Batman jorts?
It's probably not jorts, but it was definitely some kind of shorts or something.
Yeah. Well, we urge everybody definitely check out Willy's Wonderland.
Oh my God, yes,
it's a good movie.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I know we're running on time, so we'll wrap it up. Any last words before we close up?
No, watch this movie. It's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, that's all I can say too.
I want the physical copy of this. So
absolutely.
So I mean, how good it's. Everything we've been hearing about it and our own reactions, this is going to blow up on VOD. And
this is going to be a cult classic, dude.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Like, I mean, because it has Nick Cage in it, which makes it like VFW is great too, but it doesn't have Nick Cage. This has Nick Cage.
Well, there was a Nick Cage indie movie recently that didn't do too well.
Yeah, but this I don't. You may be right.
But this.
No.
Yeah, because this is like Zombie Land or something like that, where it could have been goofy, but it isn't, and yet it's a dark horror comedy.
Yeah, it's
you know what I'm saying?
Shaun of the Dead. It's
Zombievers. That
Psycho Gorman, Turbo Kid, like
right, that type of stuff.
Of thing. Yeah.
But it has Nick Cage.
But
well, the other movie the movie I was referring to used him more like as a gimmick. He really wasn't a full actor in the movie.
What was the film?
It was Jiu-Jitsu.
Okay.
Yeah, I shut it off like
that. Oh well, yeah, he was the lead here. I mean, this was his film.
Yep.
I mean, it had a cast, ensemble cast.
Yeah, but sometimes folks will, not really take advantage of his acting style, like his real acting ability, which you get to see in this. Like, he is a talented actor, and they will use him more as a prop.
Yeah,
right.
But like Kevin said, and he put it perfectly, Nick Cage is a genre unto himself.
Yeah, and this wasn't just a paycheck film for him. This was a real film.
No, he enjoyed this. You could tell he was having fun, and especially
yeah.
based on what Kevin was saying, where he wasn't just hanging out in his trailer waiting, but like he had that presence. Like you could hear him approaching.
Right.
Like if there's anything more comic book-esque, it's hearing those footsteps coming. All I was imagining was like Batman as he's like stalking his way down the halls of Arkham, like on his way to a confrontation.
Sure.
And yeah, I cannot recommend this highly enough.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just concur everything Patsy said.
Okay.
Which is odd. We don't always fully agree, but on this we do.
Yeah. Well, everybody's different, and I mean, when you see greatness, how can you disagree? How can you disagree? Right?
Yeah. Well, we urge everybody definitely check out Willy's Wonderland. I have information, show notes down below or up above. There's even a merch store which you can buy the Willy's Wonderland shirts. Which,
yes.
And with that, Philip, where do you like people interacting with you?
Well, you can actually find me on Dark Discussions podcast Facebook group is the best place to interact. But we do have a website called darkdiscussions.com, which is a genre website that is updated daily with columns, reviews, release notices, podcasts, and whatnot. There's 30 different podcasts on the Dark Discussions News Network. I participate in a number of them, including Dark Discussions podcast, which is the original podcast. It's a weekly podcast that discusses genre films. I also am on Halloween Boutique Psychotronic Reviews, which is also a lot of indie horror films. And then I've been doing Don't Tell Me, I'll Tell You, the Stand podcast based off of the CBS All Access television show. That's about to wrap up next week with one final episode. And then a Discovery of Witches, Demons, and Vampires. It's a podcast that discusses the Shudder television series, A Discovery of Witches. So we do a weekly episode on that. And you can email us at darkdiscussions@aol.com.
Oh, that's an insane amount of work you're doing. Patsy, I'm sure you're doing your fair share as well.
Yeah, as you can see behind me with all this memorabilia and stuff, you can find me on, well, the main show is obviously Throwdown Thursday, but there's also Shark Bites, which is a supplemental show that we do here and there. We also do the Loudest Sports Show, as you see with the stuff adorning the walls behind me. You can find me on this show occasionally on Wednesdays with Leo on the Dorkening Wednesday show. You can also check us out on throwdownthursdaypodcast.com, where we have our latest episodes, articles. I have a couple of things in the works, something that's going to happen in a few weeks that not even these guys know about. I think there's 3 people that know about it. So that's going to be huge, but it might be a great opportunity for the rest of the network as well. Just throwing it out there. And tune in next week to Throwdown Thursday for one of our. We've been doing a lot of firsts for our episodes recently, and we have a true crime writer that joined us in an interview last week, who is going to be chatting with us on the episode next week. And she has a very unique perspective that you don't get from many true crime writers. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
Ooh.
But check that one out. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. Can't wait. And for me, just Google Leo Pond. You'll find a bunch of stuff. Could be true, could be not. But what you are going to find is I run something called the Dorkening Podcast Network. We have over 30 shows on the network. Tons of awesome people doing incredible work. I'm doing this show with you guys here, Indie Creator Spotlight, every Monday. Tuesday, we're doing Splash Pages, the comic book club. Wednesdays, I'm producing the Still Token with the Still Token with guys, Token with the Dead. And then we're also doing the Dorkening as well on Wednesdays. And the 27th, we're going to be, I believe it's the 27th, we're going to be doing some live interviews for the college in Massachusetts that we went to, Phil. They're doing an online convention. I think it's
yeah.
ECC.
Yeah. It's up in just over the border in Maine.
Yeah.
I forget the name of it.
Yeah. So definitely look for that, and you guys are welcome to join if you'd like to as well. And so look for more information. And with that, we'll catch you guys later. Bye.